What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ho Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me. I got my man, Jay Bavo, in the building. What's good, man?
Not much, man. Look forward to getting into another great episode tonight. But want to remind you, you can follow us on TikTok as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Ho Husband Podcast. And if anyone's interested in a promotion or on the podcast, you can shoot us a DM at Ho Husband Podcast, as well as email us at hoetohusbandpodcast@gmail.com.
I also have my other co-host. I got my man, SD, in the building. What's good, man?
No, man, I'm a little tired. Been up since 4 a.m. I just got my second win, so we going to get through this episode. I'm excited about it.
Okay.
I want to first give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Ho Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Transactional Courting. And we're just going to be having a discussion about how the dating mentalities have a negative impact on the dating outcomes. But y'all know how we do around here on the Ho Husband Podcast. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending on our timelines or things that have gone viral. And so this first video that we have is something that I can definitely relate to. But it's a video of a man dumping a woman because she had a bad son. Let's take a look at the video.
So why'd you breaking up with me? Why?
Look, man.
Why? Okay, so you gonna break up with me because of my son?
I was trying to teach him right from wrong. Look like... Man, give me this gun, dog. What you mean? What you say?
I said,
That's what.
So you gonna break up with me
Man,
because of my child?
Listen,
He's just a child.
He's bad, dog.
She just need a little guidance, man.
Hey,
Like,
slow
don't.
us down.
That's a petty reason to break
Man, I
up with
can't do
somebody.
what
I ain't
you
gonna
do, man.
lie.
This is too
How?
much, man.
Oh, why?
Your
Over
kids.
a
It's too
10-year-old?
fucking- your kid is
Over
too
a
fucking bad.
10-year-old.
Where is that
Over
at?
a
I can't do
10-year-old.
this. Stick to your
Over a
finger.
10. Okay.
Dog, he bad.
Right.
He bad.
Okay,
Look,
but that's not no reason to break up with nobody.
I can't do it no more, man.
So you gonna
No,
throw?
stop
You
thinking
gonna?
figure out that, man. I'm done.
So you just gonna throw all these years down the drain?
I'm done.
I'm glad he did it finally, man. He should have never put himself in that position. I would think that's the stepdad's worst nightmare, right? You with a woman that has a disrespectful son that doesn't have any discipline or control over her own child. That's never going to lead to a healthy household or a healthy relationship. So he just better be glad he got out the situation before he had her pregnant.
Well, she said in the video, that's not a reason to break up. Yes, it is, beloved. It is a reason to break up because I've done it personally. I've done it
For real?
Yeah, I surely have. Anytime I meet a woman, because I like single moms, like, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. I like women with kids. It's all good. I like women with well-behaved kids. If your kids ain't well-behaved, I can't stick around and deal with it. And this particular woman had boys, and they weren't well-behaved at all. And then on top of that, I couldn't say nothing to her about them. Anytime I tried to guide them or guide her into doing things different or better for these boys, because I saw the direction that they were headed in, she had an issue with it. And so I'm like, all right, you know what? This is too much for me. I'm done. I can't talk to them. I can't talk to you. Therefore, I'm done. And, you know, they wind up getting locked up. But if you can't talk to a woman or a man, if a man's kids is running the home, the daughter don't want to listen, the daughter go to bed when she won't, do what she won't, talk how she won't, leave him alone, because it's just gonna be a
You gotta have
relationship of
boundaries,
misery.
man.
Yeah, for kids should stay in a kid's place. Remember when we were young, we would stay in a kid's place. It was just certain things we couldn't do. Now, you can't whoop your kids now. And this is the byproduct of not being able to whoop your kids and, oh, don't hit them. It causes trauma. Man, please. It keeps them little bastards in line.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
You got to have a certain level of respect in your household. But what about you, Jay? You ever had any dated a woman with any bad kids?
I've never dated a woman with bad kids before, but for me, this would be a deal breaker because if you can't discipline the child or anything or say anything when the child's acting up, that's just a recipe for disaster. Like I had a friend that was married to a woman and had a son that was disrespectful to him. I mean, invited this man to his genitals, and that would end up being a deal breaker for him.
Wow.
While they were married?
While they were married, like he disrespected a few times, like, yo, suck my dick, like, yo, you not invite another man to your genitals.
But that's his fault. Don't tell me, ain't no way Shorty became
he get married or
after they got married. No way. That little boy was disrespectful from the jump, and she didn't correct it. When you dating somebody with kids, and they kids,
that shit, wouldn't that be one of the main things you judge, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if they kids disrespect you some type of way or don't listen to you, and you bring it to the parent, and the parent don't do nothing about it, or they laugh it off, that's the first sign that you need to go.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. And he had to say, and that was what happened. You know, every time he would bring it to his mom, she just make excuses for him. You know,
I've seen situations like that where it's my son, you not his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I could never see myself in that type of situation because I'm not gonna be providing for nobody that I can't discipline or tell what to do. So I mean, but even if there are guys that can have that problem with their own biological child. If you have a child with a woman who has a drastically different view on parenting than you do, that's what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter's 11 years old, and your baby mama's letting her dress like a thought and letting her sing Nicki Minaj and party. Like, man, all those are the type of things that you should be paying attention to when you dating, I would think.
Exactly. That's why it's important to talk about how you want to raise a child with the person you're with. You know, let's just say if y'all don't have children, and even let's just say you're gonna have a blended family, y'all still need to be on the same page of how y'all gonna raise the children that y'all are bringing in, as well as your own children.
Yeah, if I can't discipline your kids and you discipline mine, this not gonna work. And by discipline, I don't mean physical discipline. I personally don't think that step parents should be physically disciplining step kids. But go to your room, give me that tablet, give me that video game. Same thing with my boy. If he don't listen to my lady, it's gonna be a problem in my house. And that's the same thing that I demand from a woman that has kids. Your kids, because I'm not gonna tell the kids nothing wrong. You obviously see some type of value in me as a man. So I'm going to tell these kids.
Your judgment, right? And your character.
Yeah. If you can't trust me to discipline these kids, you are not going to be in my house. And this here is all things that you get out the way. And you can tell through character, man, with these here women or men, with how they treat their kids. Do they hold their kids on a pedestal? It's my Valentine. This my husband. Like, what are you talking about? This is a little kid. You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't be doing that because the lines get blurred and they don't. They hold them to.
Well, I really think this is a counter product of the teenage parent generation.
True.
Where you have a lot of parents that try to be friends with their kids. They try to dress alike and be cool with them and all that. And that's cool to a degree. But there comes a time where you have to be the authority in the household. You have to put your foot down and a lot of the times the things that are best for a child are the things that are unpleasant. Like you limiting what they can and can't do or restricting them, having a curfew, things like that people really hated as teenagers. Those are the things that made us make us productive adults, having boundaries. Because the people that I know whose parents let them do whatever, like you said, they ended up in jail. You know what I mean? Because they was in the street. They was outside.
Or the morgue. Yep. It
Yep.
happens all the time, man. You see it all the time, man, with these kids out here 16, 17 years old. No guidance, nobody to structure them. And a lot of that, that's why fathers are so important.
Vital.
For kids, because fathers bring a level of discipline and respect that most moms just don't bring, especially when you're talking about for boys. Because once a boy figure, hey, I'm standing up eye to eye with you, nah, I'm taller than you, nah. Most boys don't really respect their mom on a physical level like that. You know what I'm saying? Not like, you know,
it's not a fear.
Yeah, but with their daddy, it's different. That's why kids act different when they around their daddy. You ever seen a kid act one way around the mom, and then when the dad come around, they talk different or act different or walk different? That's because the daddy got daddy power. And that type of stuff for kids is important and essential for them in their growth and development as a young person growing up into an adult. So when all these here women run around saying, hey, they can be single moms and don't need a man and all of this here stuff, it is to the detriment of the kids, because then you expect a man to come in later on when you actually want to get married or have a relationship and accept this here kid ruined the way you have ruined them all these years. And most men that's got some good sense about them is not going to do that.
Right. Let's keep the ball rolling. This next video that we wanted to talk about is a clip from Eight at the Table podcast, where it's a lady talking about her expectations of a man. Let's take a listen.
A man should always make a way. I feel like I'm not going to work my hands to the bones to provide. I'm not going to work 16 to 20 hours a day or a week to provide for my family. You're the man. You have the penis. Go get a job. Get 3 jobs. My man has 2 jobs. Go get 7 jobs and 2 side hustles to buy me the things that I want, because I'm a woman.
Man, when I see women like this, it doesn't bother me personally, because to me as a man, if your dating strategies are intact, you'll be able to spot women like this a mile away. So you could choose to still smash, or you could choose to avoid them altogether. But women that are delusional like this, it just makes you think, like, why would a guy sign up to get several jobs and several side hustles just to be able to get her what she wants? That has to be the silliest mentality ever, but unfortunately, it's an epidemic these days.
It's a simp epidemic. That's what it is out here. It's a simp epidemic running around here. That'll do things like this. And let me tell you, man, ain't no way I'm going to get 2-3 jobs just to buy a chick something that's on Instagram with her camel toe out. Have you seen her page? It ain't nothing but naked pictures.
Never seen it.
Naked pictures, half naked pictures, whatever. So I can guarantee you, she probably ain't got no man. She just got some sugar daddy or something that's doing things for her, and she's doing sexual favors for him. I can almost guarantee because
some strange for some change.
Yeah, like unless he's
there's a lot of them that want that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. That's because they see the glamour in it. But you know, and I get it. I understand it. But you know, when women like her get on some of these podcasts, man, and she ain't really all that great looking. I mean, she all right. Ain't no way. She about a 6. She got big titties. She got big titties, but she about a good 6 or something. Ain't no way
I would imagine she got a BBL too. Have you seen her in person or
on her in person? I looked at her page when I saw that clip, but I mean, she looked like the normal chicks out here, man, that's half naked with these big old booties and titties that they done paid for somewhere. It just looked like that. But the mentality is what I wouldn't even pay her no attention for. I wouldn't date her. Yeah. No way.
I wouldn't either. I mean, this is such a flawed mentality to have. And, you know, this is growing more and more with the social media day and age where everyone wants to get something for nothing.
It is.
You know, she wants a guy to pay all her bills, court her, take her to 5-star restaurants, and all she got to do is just basically lay on her back or just sit around the house and goof off all day.
Yeah. Nah. She said she only work 20 hours a week.
She ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, not even
20 hours a week.
So when a woman meets a guy that is grinding, he's putting himself, he's in college, he's starting a business, he's doing all this, he's putting in the work, and you think his goal is to just meet a chick and just buy her everything she wants.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's so many panders out here that are telling women like her that you're not asking for too much. You're just asking from the wrong one.
Wrong guy.
And so these type of chicks with these delusional expectations, pass up a lot of solid dudes, a lot of men that are husband material. That could have her living a very comfortable lifestyle, but she's not willing to contribute her part.
Actually, a pander out there that actually said some stuff like that. Hey, if you want a man, he needs to be cash app you $1,000, paying your rent, all your bills and everything to show that he really is. Yo, somebody really, I'm not exaggerating here. Somebody really did.
Yeah. I've seen the videos, man. But women buy into it because he got simps out there on the internet, and unfortunately, those are the ones that get the most retweets and the most likes and all that. So they the ones that you see the most.
And by the time they step out here at 30-something years old, once they purpose start to hit them and they like, oh man, I need a man and I want a family, don't nobody want to be bothered with them. They so messed up that a regular guy just ain't gonna do it. Now they need them a scammer. Now they need them a drug dealer, or they hanging around the clubs where the basketball players at, hoping that he like fives with a horrible weave. That's what they doing at that age. Like, no, sweetheart, you don't qualify for this type of dude, and you ain't never did nothing with your life. Like, I can't be around a woman like that. I would prefer my woman only work part-time. Me personally, I personally don't want my woman breaking her back and working her fingers to the bone for somebody else. Like, that's just me. But I will not deal with a woman with that type of attitude, because that type of attitude, she ain't gonna do nothing at the house either. Nope. She ain't gonna do nothing at the house. She's just gonna sit at the house.
She's gonna feel like you trying to control, or I'm not a slave. Like you hear them off the most basic stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they treat it as if a man asking for anything in return is asking too much, and that's why a lot of them are gonna end up single.
Yeah, you a slave? I'm not a slave because I gotta cook you food too. Well, what you gonna eat? Well, yeah. So extra plate make you a slave? Well, yeah. Make you a slave.
Yeah, I mean, based off that logic, hey, going to work, and providing for you, I'm not a slave to do that. If we're gonna use that.
Oh, logic. That don't matter. That don't matter. No. You can be a slave because you provide for them. That's okay.
Because you have a penis. Because you're a man.
Yes, because you have a penis.
Yeah, the stupidest stuff, man.
Like gender roles then.
All right, man. Look like we up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into tonight's episode, transactional courting. So y'all tuned into the Ho to Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Transactional Courting. And we're talking about how the dating mentality that people have these days really has a negative impact on people's dating outcomes. We often talk about the mentality of somebody that is either conducive or unconducive to a long-term relationship. And I think one of the biggest problems that I see today is people are trying to disguise what a real relationship is. It's supposed to be a transaction. You give your energy, your time, your effort for the betterment of the family in your household. And so there should be a transaction to it. But unfortunately, there are a lot of women that want to ignore that men should be getting something out the deal too. And they try to shame men for trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. That's why you got the saying, happy wife, happy life. You hardly ever hear them say anything about a husband, because a lot of times it just ain't about them. It ain't about the men. It's really, about the women and what they can extract from the man and not what they can give to the man. When, like you said, all of it's a transaction. But, it depends everything depends on what you're trying to give and get. And a lot of people, just like you said, not trying to give much, but trying to get everything out of the process. And that's what's messing up the dating world, because everybody feels used. The women feel used for sex because the guys have always wanted sex, but they feel like, hey, these guys are trying to get this from me all the time. And a lot of the men feel used from the money. Well, these here chicks want to go out on dates and go get food, and then they want to hit me back and all this here type of stuff. So everybody is on guard, and everybody is like, okay, I'm going to play you before you play me. So it's really, ruining the dating pool waters. When they say it's got pee in it, it's definitely a little piss in there. Yeah, Jay, what's up, man? What you think about that?
No, it's definitely the money. And I think what has really happened, like when you made the happy wife, happy life reference, right? A lot of these women have adopted a feminist mindset where it's pretty much became exploitive, where they can try and get everything, extract everything out the men, time, money, resources, and not have to give nothing in return. They just clear, oh, well, all he wants is sex from me. But you try to get everything else out of him, why not?
Yeah, see, I think a lot of it seems like women just ignore the basics, For guys, the guys that have their lives together aren't struggling with dating. They may struggle to find a woman with the mindset they want, but as far as day-to-day dating and having dating successful women, that's not where they're struggling at. And so for women, I think they need to focus more on what actually makes a man decide to commit to a woman. Like, what makes you different out of all the other women that he's dating? Because we know that they don't want a lane that can't attract other women. We know that they don't want a dude that ain't got no money or ain't got his life together. And so all these women that are looking for these top tier guys, well, he's going to have some top tier options. And what is it about hanging out with you or dating you makes you stand out or make you his favorite choice?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of women just don't look at it like that. Like when I talk to women or, like on social media, all of them think that they are one of one. Like they think that they are just it and no other woman can compare to them. And it's like, okay, why do you feel that way? Because I do. And it ain't no real reason behind it.
Not an answer.
It's no real reason behind it. And a lot of women just don't understand that men don't feel the same way. And what's sad about it is that a lot of them just don't care until it's too late. What the men actually want from women and want to actually give it to men. When we tell women what we actually want, a lot of times it's met with pushback. It's met with insults and it's met with shame and trying to guilt trip us about wanting it. Whether it's wanting a submissive woman, whether it's wanting a woman that's in shape, whether it's wanting a woman that cooks and cleans for a man or whatever the case, those things nowadays are met with, like I said, shame and insults. But on the flip side, they definitely want what they want from the man, which is, a lot of provision, leading, and protection when it comes to a man. So I think
I don't think a lot of them want the leading, actually. Because leading can come with setting boundaries, telling them no. A lot. Well, based off the way women respond to what I see on social media, they want somebody that looks attractive to them, has the type of money that they want, that is going to allow them to do whatever they want to do with very little resistance. So they basically want simps that are just going to say yes, and give her everything that she wants, which is a very unrealistic expectation.
They want him to lead
a Michael B. Jordan and all that type of stuff.
Like I think all women want a man to lead. I just think that because it's not their position. Women aren't built to lead. Sorry, it is what it is. Women are built to be helpmates. That's why they get frustrated with doing the garbage, doing the cars, got to do the grass, got to go shopping, got to get the kid. They get frustrated with all of that because that's not their position to be in the leadership, in the head like that. They want a man for that. But I think that a lot of them, to your point, do want a man there for some of those things, but they also want to be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And like you said, a simp that'll let them do it. That's who will do it. Or the guy that they got in their friend zone that they done have there 5 or 6 years, he'll let you do it, but they don't really like him like that. And that's why women like that and men that know they position out here, that's really masculine men that stand on their square and what they say in principles, bump heads with women like that. Because ain't no way I'm gonna let a woman come into my space and think that she's gonna run things. Ain't no way. If you can't if you can't get behind where I'm going, then you gotta go. This is my program as the man, as the leader. If you ain't trying to get on that program, you gotta go.
Well, yeah, and see, so what I see, with my counseling sessions and the people I talk to, and just running my page or whatnot, on both sides of the fence, there are things that cause people to have unhappiness over time, right? A lot of women, we see that their expectation is, you need to spoil me, you need to give me what I want, and all these type of things. And then when they realize that that's not possible or even realistic, they have a problem with the guy, or that he's blocked because he didn't get her something that her friend got, or something that she's comparing to other women. And we see that a lot of guys, especially the guys that we talk about that are successful, that have their lives together, what they experience by observing the way that these women think, make decisions, and their level of entitlement, it causes guys to cut them off. And so we have a situation where if everybody's cutting off, we're not having much long-term relationship success. Even though I don't think a lot of guys, I think most guys are comfortable with that. But
yeah, he getting sex.
T, like what you just said, what do you think it takes to kind of just bridge that gap? Because it seems like there's a big disconnect here, just based on what you said.
Man, I really don't know, man. I've been putting up a fight, trying to do my part for about 6 or 7 years now. But like I said, it always seems like the people with the pandering message, the people that are telling women what they already think and feel, those are the ones that go viral. They get they get the biggest following, and those are the ones that get the most support. I don't know, man. I thought, I honestly thought when I started doing relationship advice that if somebody that's actually married, that actually had success, that actually talked to them in a real way, I thought that was the magic formula for having success. And for the ones that listen, it is. But unfortunately, that's a very small percentage of women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? I don't think that it's... Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just saying with the panders that go by with those people, I think, a lot of social media, YouTube, Instagram goes out their way to push these folks in the algorithm. Tell these women. Yeah. I do. Hey, there's money.
Well,
in it.
Big money in that. The female reaction to it fuels the algorithm. Mm-hmm. The shares, the likes, the reposts, all that stuff. If you you can say some bullshit. Men should pay 100%. If you're not, like you do one of them videos, spiritual word, shade room, all them gonna repost it with their own banner and format. Next thing you know, it's a trending topic.
Right.
We discussing it on our podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when the messages that are real, that'll actually help women, they don't get that same response.
No. Like the Steve Harvey one. What you mean what she should bring to the table? She can have another you. That was everywhere. These women, yes, Steve gets it. Steve don't get nothing. He just lying to y'all about it. And so I did a survey on my page one time. I asked the women, I said, hey, how many times a day do your mood change? And the majority of the women said, 3, 4, 5 times a day my mood changed. And I said, do women divorce men because they're not happy anymore? And they like, yeah, women do it. How in the world do you keep a woman happy whose mood changes 4 to 5 times a day on her own? How do you keep that happy all the time as a man to where she won't feel, all right, you know what? I'm not happy anymore. That's why a lot of men, man, because it's so fleeting. You mentioned relationships being fleeting. That's why it's such a scary thing for men like me to want to get married. Your feelings as a woman is fleeting, and some men leave too at like 20%, which is a very low amount of men that's leaving. But a woman walks away because she's not happy anymore. How do I keep her happy 24/7, 365 for 20 or 30
That's an
years
impossible
of life?
task, bro.
I know, but what I'm saying is for me, do I risk what I have for the happiness of a woman whose moods and things change 4 to 5 times a day by herself? What do I get if she walk away? And she get to walk away with half, what I get, half support, half appreciation that she came with. What do I
Tough
get?
Situation, man. Because most likely, if you do take that step and you have another child and you know what I'm saying, and you start a family with a woman.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
One thing at a time,
Terry. One thing at a time.
Not so fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's part of the dilemma. Like that was part of the motivation for me to get married at 25 is I didn't have nothing. So she was with me from ground zero, helping build with me. But her mentality on paying bills and running the household, we had already had a couple of years of experience, and we was on the same page. You know what I mean? Like I paid majority of stuff, but she contributed. And it wasn't I'm forced to contribute. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not selfish like that. So that worked. Like she showed she was down for me the way I was down for her. I don't think most women would show that. And that's why I don't think there are a lot of guys that are anxious to propose, like you were just mentioning.
Yeah, I mean that's so important, man, and that's why the women be like, "Yo, why you ain't got married yet? Why you ain't got a woman?" Look, man, I take my time. I gotta see how you behave. I gotta see how you think. What your mindset? How's that? How you treat people? That stuff is important, man. It's important. No, I don't need you to come in here and pay a bunch of bills, but the willingness, the attitude to say, "Hey, man, I'm good with it if you need me." That's what I'm talking about. A woman like that deserves everything, man. It's just so hard to find.
You know what I'd be thinking about, like when it comes to USD? Like, okay, so you're a bachelor and you're on social media, but you're also on a podcast. So you've been talking for years, telling women what you looking for, what type of attitude you like. Like, if I was a woman that was thirsting over SD, I would be watching all the podcasts and just taking notes on what you're saying, right? Like that seems like the easiest move or easiest way.
But you know what?
Yeah, but go ahead, Jay.
But ladies, y'all need to step your game up.
A lot of them is thinking what they can get out of SD as opposed to how they can get with SD in the first place.
Well, not only that, because that's not the only component. All right. That's great. You gotta have that, but you gotta have the looks too. The looks gotta be there, as well as the mindset, as well as the behavior, as well as the willingness to play your position. That's really a hard one nowadays. Pause. That's really a hard thing to find now. Is the willingness to play their position. You know what I'm saying? Out here, and I know we kind of off a little bit with what we're talking about, but it is for a woman to say, "Oh, I want to cook for my man. I find joy in doing this for my man and doing that for my man, because as a man, I want to take care of my lady. I want to provide for my lady." And so that type of energy is something that I look for. These are things that I look for because I know it's doom if I don't get it. So I need it how I need it, or I'm fine being a bachelor. That's all. So
when you're meeting a new woman, do you feel like it's a transactional situation where she's just trying to see how much you'll spend on the date or what you'll do for her?
Man, I don't even care about that. Like, if I meet her and we going out or whatever, I ain't thinking about what I'm gonna spend on the date. First off, I'm talking to her ahead of time and getting to know her to see how her character is, how she think, and then she seemed cool, let me take her out on the date. Man, when I ask a woman to go out on the date, man, I don't care what we do. I don't care about spending the money. If she get me for date money, she get me. Hey, man, whatever. It's her law. It's date money. I don't care. But I ain't thinking about that. I'm thinking about enjoying myself. That's why the vetting I try to vet them a little bit, get a peek at their social media, see how they really think, ask them certain questions and stuff like that ahead of time before I even go and spend money. But once I get to that point where I think you solid and I think you're okay enough for me to go out with you and see how you carry yourself in public, how you dress in public, and all those types of things, I don't really care what we do. Don't matter to me.
That's
you know
fair.
what I'm saying? If I spend $50 or $350, it is what it is. I don't really care. So I'm more with the vibe and how we click and your mindset and what you think about certain things. So
that's what's up, man. Well, ladies, I tried to give y'all the cheat sheet. Pay attention. Make sure y'all go download and watch the past episodes of the Hold the Husband podcast, so y'all can see the right mentality that I have. And one of the biggest things or the biggest components I think that I see in people that have long-term relationships that are successful is their willingness to sacrifice for family. Because when you talk about love and feelings and all that, really love from a male perspective, it does a couple of things. It causes a man to overlook things that he would not overlook for people that he don't love. It causes him to deal with stuff that he wouldn't deal with, but he's doing it out of love. And his willingness to use his resources on somebody that he would only do for his loved ones. And so those three things are very, very vital for a man that has his life together and is, trying to build a legacy or build generational wealth and those type of things, all the type of things that are foundational to a family unit. So women, if you can complement that or you can contribute to it, you won't get there with the type of attitudes that we talk about on our podcast. I can assure you that.
You got a way worse chance of getting there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it seemed like every couple of days I see another viral clip. It was one I remember about a week or so ago where the woman was refused to help get a house. I want to be able to say my husband bought it. Like it's like.
Yeah, I know the video you're talking about.
Like every time I see it, I just be like, man, it's an L for the dudes because you should have been saw that mentality, bro.
Yep.
Like you already engaged or you already in a serious relationship with a chick that's selfish like that. That's an L for you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the type of things that you should be peeping out instead of asking what her favorite color is.
Forget her color.
Right.
But
you know what?
Favorite restaurant.
I'm gonna give the fellas. SD touched on it a little bit earlier. He just said he skimmed through a woman's social media and all that. But for the fellas, look at her comments on other pages.
Yep.
Look what she says on Shade Room comments.
Justin LeBoy.
Yeah, look what she says on comments and different things. That will give you a very good gauge on a woman's mentality. That's something that I think is an underrated tool, guys. Could be using these days.
Social media is a great tool to get a glimpse into somebody's mind frame and their life and their personal life, to see how they outside all the time, carry themselves, dress, all types of stuff, talk to people. Whatever the case, it's an excellent tool if you use it right and pay it some attention. I've ignored women because of their social media. I've cut them off for different things that they have said because of their social media. Because if a woman will hop on one of these pages and say, "Yeah, girl, get him for all of his money," when one of these chicks going through a divorce, guess what she'll do to you? Guess what she'll do to you?
Same thing.
She will do the same thing to you. And it's the same thing for men. If they hop on and say something crazy, whatever the case, pay them some attention.
Yeah.
But, when you talking about marriage or, serious relationships in marriage, man, that stuff got to be right. And I refuse to just get with a chick just to get with a chick. Like, I ain't doing that now at 42 years old. They can have that.
Yeah. We see all these talk about the numbers and the marriage declining, especially in the African American community. So it's concerning long term, man. I hope I know how many people out there are anxious for a healthy relationship. I just wish that more people were willing to make the simple changes to facilitate it, because it's really not that difficult. You know what I mean? Like, well, at least it wasn't that difficult when I was single. I guess I always got to put that in context, right?
About
I didn't have all,
99. What you mean?
yeah, I didn't have all these.
Oh, you ain't had this stuff, man.
No social media back then.
No, none of that. These
Yeah,
chicks getting 8,000 likes on their foreheads. Like, you know, the options, man. People just think all the options is there. So it's a whole different game now, man. So, you know, it is what it is. You got to adapt to it. For all the single people.
Yeah. All right, man. Look like we up against the clock. We about to get up out of here, man. But before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Ho the Husband Podcast, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.